Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hey there, happy Monday to you. It is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air as he does every weekday live, high noon Eastern time right here on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts. We've got some fallout to talk about today. The drama that is becoming even more prevalent between Brad Marchand and his former team, the Boston Bruins. And did the Bruins actually win the trade deadline, so to speak? They do a good job. All this aside, we'll talk about that. The Patriots finally made a signing, but they missed out on about 3 more over the weekend. Harold Landry, good player, but what the Patriots are missing might be even a bigger deal. Plus, Celtics, Lakers. We saw it over the weekend. Are we going to see it again in June? Is the NBA's best rivalry coming back to the NBA Finals? We're going to talk about all that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network and sponsored by all the great ads that our friend Mike Hamilton gets to read in every ad break. We're going to start with the Bruins because that was obviously the story of the weekend. For those of you who didn't see it, we did the live reaction right at the end of the trade deadline, right at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I think we went on at 3:15. And I had it all written out for the Charlie Coyle trade and the Justin Brazeau one. We're going to talk a little Trent Frederick from a few days before. And then all hell broke loose at the last minute. Brandon Carlo to Toronto, which actually got buried in the fact that the Bruins traded their captain, Brad Marchand, to their recent rivals, the Florida Panthers. And it's not been the same around the team since. It was a tough day for Bruins fans, but maybe a necessary one. So we've all been through the shock of what happened on Friday afternoon with Brad Marchand getting traded to the Florida Panthers. He was in a Panthers uniform on Monday, well, a Panthers pullover and hat on Monday in his introductory press conference. It was weird to see. They've got the Marchand Panthers jerseys in the pro shop down there in Sunrise. It's odd, right? It's a very odd sight. A lot of Bruins fans were hoping we didn't have to see it. But now we've got some big time fallout. And now the details are slowly but surely starting to come out here. And I use the term details loosely because now we're getting stories about how this came to be, about how the Boston Bruins traded their captain and future Hall of Famer to an Eastern Conference rival for only a conditional second-round pick. And we're still trying to figure out the details of that condition. It certainly sounds like that Brad Marchand will have to play in 50% of their playoff games through 2 rounds, so not one. You can't just make it 2 games, right? Through 2 rounds in order for that to become a first-round pick in 2028 rather than a second-round pick in 2027. I didn't love the return on the way back. As much as we all didn't want to see Brad Marchand traded, I think a lot of us Bruins fans who have watched this team all season long and have watched this franchise kind of devolve over the last couple of years, we were thinking that's probably a necessary evil to trade Brad Marchand. It's the best trade chip you got. It sucks, but that's what you've got. I think what pissed off some Bruins fans like me was the return that you got. Because every year you see guys around his age, his kind of efficacy, garner a first-round pick. I remember Jerome McGinley doing it when he went to Pittsburgh instead of Boston. A couple years later, the Bruins went out and got 34-year-old Rick Nash. It cost him a first-round pick. So I'm sitting here thinking and watching the sellers market develop on Friday, and I'm like, man, first-round pick and a young player for Brad Marchand. Instead, you got a conditional second, a second that's 2 years away, and a first, if it even comes to that, which you have to root for the Panthers in order to get that first-round pick, is 3 years away. And I don't know about you guys, I'm hoping they're not still rebuilding 3 years from now. The silver lining is the Panthers might not be good at that point with how all in they're going here. That they might kind of crash out a little bit by 2028. And if that is a first-round pick, it'll probably be a pretty good one. But now there's talks of the drama, the background of the extension talks. Elliotte Friedman went out over the weekend, well after the trade deadline, and started to report what he's heard from this situation. And I gotta be honest with you guys, it's still not crystal clear to me.
Just a few more things I wanted to go over from the Marchand situation. Number one, I think the Bruins and the player had agreed on term, 3 years. But as Don Sweeney said yesterday, there was a gap, and there was a gap on AAV. And I don't think he was being asked to take a pay cut or anything like that, but I do think it was a sizable gap that they obviously could not bridge. Where I think this really went sideways was there was a point this week where Brad Marchand, who was currently injured and not in the lineup, asked for a face-to-face meeting with Bruins management. I don't know exactly when it was. I don't know exactly who was there, but it did happen. And in that meeting, Brad Marchand asked for a compromise. He said, I will compromise. I will bend on some of my ask. I'm asking the Bruins to bend on some of their stance, and we'll find a way to get this deal done, because he wanted to stay as a Bruin. And it just didn't happen. The Bruins had gone as far as they were willing to go. And look, anybody out here watching hockey in the hockey world has watched Brad Marchand play. We know he's going to the Hall of Fame for one major reason. He's got an incredible amount of pride, and he puts everything on the line. I think he was really stung by that. And then all of a sudden, the Bruins started to look, okay, we're not going to go any farther. We're going to start looking out there. And I think one of the things that really happened in the last 24 to 48 hours before the deadline was that Marchand's agent, I was told by several teams, Wade Arnott, made it very clear that Marchand had a place he wanted to go. And obviously that was Florida. And in the last minutes, the Bruins acquiesced and made the deal. But so that's everything I understand there. And I think it really hurt Marchand that the face-to-face meeting couldn't get a deal done.
So a couple takeaways there. First thing, very vague. And Elliotte Friedman is plugged in more than anybody basically in the NHL. Like, he is the Schefter of the NHL. He's the insider. He has the 21 hours of screen time on trade deadline day. And for him to be kind of that vague about it, it's like, all right, well, then we're missing a side of the story here. And of course, it makes the Bruins look terrible. And that's the social media reaction over the weekend. Bruins fans just skewering management for cheaping out on a future Hall of Famer and your team captain. So let's address that part first. This is where it becomes very, very vague. Friedman says there's a sizable gap. Now, from that report that we're hearing there, I don't think he's getting this information from the Bruins, okay? I don't think he's getting this information from the team because it makes the team look terrible. So he's getting that information from Brad Marchand's agent. And what is sizable? Apparently the two sides came to an agreement on 3 years. Bruins originally wanted to do 2 years. The guy's 36. He's going to turn 37 in May. So they had agreed 3 years, but sizable gap in AAV. Is that $500,000? That's pretty sizable to me. $1.5 million? That's still pretty sizable to me. Maybe not to Brad Marchand. $3 million, doubling the AAV basically. What is sizable? Marchand's basically getting paid about $3 million. And a guy his same age in the division, Claude Giroux, at a slightly more important position, slightly, center. Claude Giroux, same age, getting paid about $6 million. I think it was a 3-year, $19 million deal with Ottawa. And a little bit less take home than what that contract would be in Boston. A little bit different. Not by that much. So is Brad Marchand trying to double his AAV? Is he trying to get $1 million more, $500,000 more? I think that's important to know what the actual figures are. Not trying to carry the water for Boston Bruins management that I've been skewering all season long, but it is important to know what that change is, what that difference is, that gap. Because again, we're talking about a contract that's going to sign a guy through age 39. We all really love Brad Marchand. We all love the tradition of the Bruins. We like our guys. But through age 39, that's a tough ask. The Bruins pretty rarely do that. And honestly, this situation, what we're going to find out, is probably not that much different from what the Zdeno Chara and Torrey Krug situations were. And I think in both instances, the Bruins were right. Even at the time when it was tough, I think both times they were right to let both those guys walk. The difference was the Bruins were Stanley Cup contenders then. They weren't going to trade them at the deadline. Now they're not Stanley Cup contenders. Who knows what would have happened with Bergeron and Krejci if they weren't literally setting records in those guys' final seasons 2 years ago. But you don't have that luxury now. And Brad Marchand, at the end of that report, it clearly sounds like the Bruins were trying to do him something of a solid of like, hey, where do you want to go? And he said the Florida Panthers. He said the team that you've been competing with and lost to in the playoffs the last 2 years. He went with he wanted to be teammates with the guy that sucker punched him and knocked him out of a couple games in the postseason last year. That was a Brad Marchand decision from that report, which is probably coming from Marchand's people. I'm still pissed at the return that they got. I still think it could have been better, even for a 36-year-old who's hurt right now. But we need some more details on what the background actually was. But taking this at face value, what we're hearing from Elliotte Friedman right now, one thing that sticks out pretty clearly to me, I don't think he's coming back. I think he's pretty hurt here, and that's why the Bruins got fleeced on this deal. But the second thing is, from the rhetoric that we're hearing here, doesn't sound like he's clamoring to come back in the summer, which I thought was a real possibility. That he would get traded, go somewhere, and that because the asking price was lower than we thought, then that would mean that he would come and sign back here in the summer. But after hearing this, I think there's beef here. I think there's bad blood. I think there's Brad Marchand saying, me and the stars of this team have taken pay cuts for years. I was criminally underpaid at the back end of my prime. I think it's what he's saying. He was one of the best value contracts in the NHL for years. And he's looking and he's saying, my buddy Patrice Bergeron took a hometown discount. Zdeno Chara took a hometown discount. David Krejci, Tuukka Rask. These guys took hometown discounts to be core members of the Bruins. We could keep this thing together. And now my teammates like David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy, Jeremy Swayman, they ain't taking hometown discounts. That ship has long since sailed. Pastrnak, over $11 million. Charlie McAvoy, $9.5 million. Jeremy Swayman, $8.25 million. Had won one playoff series. Here I am, the captain, Stanley Cup winner, future Hall of Famer. And I can't get 5. I can't get 6. That's why it's important to know what the number is. But I think he was done taking hometown discounts. And he ain't coming back to the Bruins for a hometown discount. Someone will give him some money. No one's going to give him $8 million, but someone with the cap going up can give him $6 million. That wouldn't stun me at all. The way we saw Jarome Iginla after he left, to bring up Jarome Iginla for the second time, after he left the Bruins in 2014, he got a 3-year deal in Colorado. Like someone around a similar age, I think he was 36, 37. Someone will do something like that. And I don't think Brad Marchand wanted to leave the Bruins. His kids are in school in Massachusetts. They love the area. I think that would be the only pull back right now. But these guys, they like playing in Florida, man. A lot of guys like playing in Florida. So, yeah, I think the Bruins got fleeced here. But I also think it's important to know what the ask was, because we still don't know what that is. Before we it falls right into line the narratives we've heard for a long time about Bruins management. And I certainly don't want to be sticking up for Cam Neely and Don Sweeney, who I think have put the team into this mess. I don't want to give them a free pass here. But it is important to know what the numbers were, rather than just, they can't treat him like this. It is a business. And again, it wasn't the vacuum of trading Brad Marchand. It was, a lot of fans didn't like seeing him go to the Panthers. And a lot of fans like me thought they got fleeced on what they got in return. And now fans are going to be pissed at the supposed treatment of Brad Marchand. We just have to wait this out. I know that's not a good sports radio take, but until we hear some numbers here, it's tough to pass a ton of judgment on this one. Now, how did the Bruins do in terms of the actual trade deadline? Because honestly, we were really close to maybe Don Sweeney's best day as a Bruins GM. Now, it comes with the huge caveat of he put them into this mess where they had to be giant sellers, and that's not good. But I thought everything except the Marchand deal was really good business. Like, really good business. Every single one of them, I thought, wow, a little more than I expected. To the point where I was okay with them keeping Morgan Geekie. I'm like, okay, fine. This guy could be a valuable piece for you. Not a cornerstone player, but he can be a valuable piece for you in the right contract over the next couple of years. He's still pretty young. He's now got 22 goals. He's playing well with Pastrnak. And the other deals I thought were good. I already talked a lot about the Trent Frederick one. I would have traded him for a second-round pick straight up. Got a second-round pick and a prospect who might be in the NHL soon. Okay. Love that. Justin Brazeau, hoping to get a mid to late round pick. You got I think a 6th-round pick in there, but you also got 2 roster players. Okay, fine. Taking flyers, right? One of them is the kid, the 22-year-old Russian center who's also played wing on Saturday. Husnadinov, I think is how you say that. Been practicing all weekend. Okay, the kid's claim to fame is that he played on a line with Matvei Michkov in Russia. Great. But, 2nd-round pick, I think. Maybe 1st-round pick, late 1st-round pick. There's some upside here. You just take flyers on these guys. Lauko, he's a warm body. He'll get you through the rest of the season. But Brazeau was giving you nothing. So to get some flyers in return is fine. Charlie Coyle. I thought that was a big win. And I hated seeing Charlie Coyle go as a local South Shore guy. But you got a guy who's has been a fairly, I think it's fair to say he's been a disappointment in his career. Casey Middlestat is a former top 10 pick. But he's got more points than Coyle this year, and he's 7 years younger. He gives you a lot of the same things Coyle does, and he's younger. And a similar cap hit. Okay, fine. You get him plus a 2nd-round pick. Like, all right, we're cooking here. And a prospect, Zellers. This kid Zellers, who's playing in the USHL. He's a project. He's going to come in the same time Dean Letourneau does because he's going to play at North Dakota next year. But all right, a kid, another center. You've loaded up on a ton of centers who instantly slots in as a top 3 or 5 prospect in your system. To me, that's a big win. I love Charlie Coyle, and I'm seriously thinking about getting the Centennial jersey that's less than $100 on the Bruins website now because I love the South Shore guys. But he was giving you nothing this year. He was useless. Totally useless on this team as a 33-year-old center. And you got something for him. And the coup d'etat of the day is Brandon Carlo. Brandon Carlo to a division rival, a team that you hate, sure, in Toronto. But you get Toronto's probably 2nd-best prospect, albeit not a 27th ranked prospect pool in the league. But their 2nd-best prospect, who also plays center, plus a 1st-round pick for Brandon Carlo, who hasn't given you anything the last year and a half and is not the player that Toronto thinks he is. Like, you're going nowhere, and he's a top 4 stay-at-home defenseman that's about to blow out 30 birthday candles. And you got a team's 2nd-best prospect and a 1st-round pick in this year's draft when you are retooling. To now have a couple 1st-round picks, that's huge for the Bruins. Huge. And if this Minton kid can play, it's a huge bonus. He's played a cup of coffee with the big club this year. He's playing with the Marlies right now. To me, the Coyle trade and the Carlo trade in particular are huge wins. And hey, I mean, not for nothing. I think he got fleeced on the Panthers deal, but if that does become a 1st-round pick for Marchand, it's a long time from now, but by 2028, you're not still going to be crying about trading Brad Marchand. All you're going to know is you got an extra 1st-round pick. And by that point, you should be back on the road to something of contention. If you handle this thing right, you should be a good team by then, right? The alternative is what the Blackhawks are going through right now, and in that case, it's going to be a long time. But I think this was a good Don Sweeney day. Of course, too good to be true when it comes to the last deal in Marchand. But I'd put this right up there with the moves they made at the 23 deadline to get better as a great Bruins day for management up until the Marchand thing. It obviously became a PR nightmare after that. But look, I'm not going to give them a pass for getting them in this situation. The reason why they were in such a seller situation, a clean house situation, was because of management, because of the front office and their asset management over the last 8 years, really. I mean, we can go back pretty far on this. Like, if they hadn't had a core group of guys that were really dedicated to the Bruins and taking hometown discounts, this would have happened years ago. Don Sweeney, the only thing he's been good at is trade deadlines. Everything else he sucked at, eye for talent, letting guys walk, free agency market, salary cap. He hasn't been good at any of it except for trade deadline deals. And he got really good value on 4 of these 5 deals. And honestly, as much as I hated the 5th one, the Marchand one, again, if that becomes a first-round pick in 28 and your buyers at the trade deadline looking to make a run and you've got 2 first-round picks that year, we're going to be saying, maybe that was a good deal after all. The Panthers went out in the conference finals and we got a first-round pick out of it. That's great, man. That's great. But it is tough for Bruins fans to, and myself included, to separate the sentimentality of it. Brad Marchand, I wouldn't mind seeing him come back as your captain for a rebuild, sign again in the summer. But if it's going to be $6 million a year, maybe I don't want that. And maybe that is what Marchand's looking for. Maybe he can fetch that somewhere, the way Jarome Iginla did after he left Boston. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good trade deadline. And look, the kids played inspired on Saturday. I would rather them, honestly, tank than just get close to the playoff picture and not get in. But they mentioned it a ton in the broadcast on Saturday. They've got a ton of guys now who are in the NHL, but might not be in a couple months. So they're going to be playing hungry. They're going to be really settled into their roles. It's going to be an interesting watch. And they played really hard on Saturday against Tampa. They got, an own goal and a crazy red line Mark Kastelik goal on Vasilevsky in a wonky play. But they brought the effort for all 60 minutes in that game and deserved a shutout win. So who knows? Maybe they could make a run at this playoff picture. But honestly, I'd rather them be picking in the top 5, 6, 8, whatever. But overall, I thought it was a good trade deadline day. It's just that return on Marchand might come back to bite them, in all honesty. You know who had a good weekend? The Patriots? Question mark. Can we call that a good weekend? Let's assess next on The Cam Show.
Shades is your trusted partner in stage lighting, offering a wide range of high-quality, innovative products since 2015. With designs that cater to all needs, fast delivery, and affordable prices, we provide exceptional customer service to ensure your satisfaction. With warehouses across the globe and sales in over 100 countries, Sheds is quickly becoming one of the most recognized names in the stage lighting industry. Visit shehds.com today to discover top-tier stage lighting solutions and become part of our global network.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Chappellex is a full category shapewear brand dedicated to providing women with exceptional comfort and support. We offer thoughtfully designed solutions that blend style with functionality, empowering women to feel confident and at ease every day. Chappellex is redefining what it means to have a perfect body. Our mission celebrates body positivity, embracing every shape and size, because true beauty lies in authenticity. Visit shapellx.com today and join a movement towards self-love, acceptance, and confidence.
Indulge in Blum's luxurious lotus flower rolls. The green lotus roll bursts with a caramel apple flavor, while the blue lotus roll offers a smooth berry cream sensation. With our Crush for Flavor technology, enjoy an instant burst of natural, intense flavor anytime you desire. Elevate your experience with the finest creations nature has to offer. Explore the full collection at blumleaf.com. That's BLUUMLEAF.com. Blumleaf. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Welcome back. It is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm Cam Stewart, Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We're live here as we are every weekday at high noon Eastern time. And then wherever you get your podcast, we're talking Boston sports 5 days a week and sometimes a little bit extra when it's a massive NHL trade deadline. So those of you tuning in for the first time, please like, subscribe, ring that notification bell to get notified every time we're going live. And then do find us wherever you find your podcasts as well. We've got the live show here. We've also got the segments coming out later on in the afternoon. Weird week for the Bruins. Weird weekend for the Bruins. Patriots made a move. They missed out on some others, but they made a move. The Patriots did something at, the eve of free agency. Technically, that starts on Wednesday. Negotiating starts today. But the Patriots they haven't announced, but they've announcedly made a move. Harold Landry from the Tennessee Titans, originally drafted by, Mike Vrabel, a guy who is a pretty good pass rusher. I was ready to just say pass rusher Harold Landry, but also has pretty good PFF stats against the run as well. You bring in a guy, I don't know, I guess you'd consider him a defensive end linebacker. Matthew Judon is exactly what I thought of. Like exactly what I thought of when they signed him. As someone who's seen only a little bit of Harold Landry. He has a lot of that Matthew Judon in him, but is actually better against the run than Judon was or is. He's played a lot. He's played in the league since 2018. Remember, he was BC. He's a BC kid. And he's still not 29 yet. For a guy who's played 6 full seasons in 7 years worth of seasons in the league, he missed all of 2022. And the last 2 years, he's got 19 and a half sacks. That was sneaky. I mean, I say sneaky. It's sneaky thing that the Patriots really need going into this year is some pass rush. I mean, they need help just about everywhere, but we look so much on the offensive line that we neglect the fact that this was one of the worst pass rush teams in the entire NFL. They couldn't get a finger on anybody last year. And it was a reason why their defense got just cooked, just torn apart One of the reasons was they couldn't put any pressure on the quarterback not named Caleb Williams. And here you got a guy, 19 and a half sacks the last 2 years. In fact, he had 12 in 21 before he missed the season with injury in 22. Like, the guy can defend against the run. He can stay out there all 3 downs and can really get after the quarterback, man. And in the years that, I mentioned he missed a full season, it's not like he's injury prone. You look at the games played, 15, 16, 16. This before 17-game schedule. And then when they go to a 17-game schedule, 17, 17, 17. He's dependable. He gets after the quarterback. He still should be in his prime. You still should be able to get a couple years out of him. And so the Patriots made a move. Brilliant. And if that's all you were following with the Patriots this weekend, you'd be very happy right now on Monday. But if you're following the rest of it, maybe not so happy. Ronnie Stanley re-signing with the Baltimore Ravens, $20 million a year. It's a team that's paying their quarterback like $50 million a year. And Ronnie Stanley wants to continue to block for Lamar Jackson. Tough to blame him. Baltimore's in a better situation than the Patriots are. Shocker. But you don't get Ronnie Stanley, which should have been their number one target in free agency because of how desperately they need NFL tackles. Then DK Metcalf gets traded. He wants to play in warm weather. He wants to make $30 million a year. Who amongst us doesn't want to do that? Instead, he gets traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a second-round pick and a late-round pick swap. And the Patriots fans with these, glorious pipe dreams are sitting there thinking, shit, is anything going to happen here? And I know Harold Landry probably isn't going to move the needle in terms of like across the NFL. But then again, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone saying it's a bad deal right now. Hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't like what Harold Landry brings. And you'd be hard-pressed to find someone that says, boy, the Patriots really didn't need pass rush help. I think this is a really good deal for New England. And I know that's not sexy. I know that's not cool. But I think it's a really good deal for Harold Landry. And now people are all over the Patriots and the Crafts again for not getting Ronnie Stanley. And geez, it's kind of the second time I'm doing this in the show. I did it for the Bruins too. Like, I don't want to carry the water for a front office that I think has grossly underachieved the last couple of years and need to start making big moves now. But it was announced the guy was going to re-sign 3 days before free agency opens. And the Patriots were battling against the Ravens, the Commanders, and the Chiefs for a guy in his 30s who's about to sign his last contract. Like, you could have given him $25 million instead of what the Ravens gave him for 20, but who knows, can you even get in his ear this early? This was 3 days before free agency opens. There is only so much you can do, right? Am I wrong in saying that? Trust me, I want the Patriots to make some big moves yesterday. I know. And you are going to have to overpay. But maybe you can't just throw $5 extra million at Ronnie Stanley. He's made a couple million in his career. Maybe he's like, you know what? Screw that. The Drake May thing, it's not pulling me in. I'm already playing for the MVP, a 2-time MVP. There's only so much they can do. You were battling with, you could throw Drake May out there and you could throw a couple million extra dollars, but you were also competing with, okay, should I block for Drake May or should I block for 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson? Should I block for Patrick Mahomes? Should I block for Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels? Should I go to the playoffs? Should I play in the Super Bowl? Or should I take an extra $5 million to play for the Patriots? It's a tough sell. It's a really tough sell, especially in this case. So to the Patriots fans who are already giving, it's dude, what do you expect from them? They can't work miracles. But then again, I will say there does need to be some progress made on the offensive line. That goes without saying. And then there are people who were dying for DK Metcalf. I just wasn't one of them. I get it. Big time playmaker, big name receiver to help out Drake May. Again, not trying to defend the Patriots. I think that was an asking price they absolutely could have met. But like, is that really the guy that you want to bring in, DK Metcalf? I've said it on this show before. There's some good enough wide receiver talent out there in the free agent pool. Are Chris Godwin and Cooper Kupp and Amari Cooper, are they DK Metcalf? No, they're not. And they're not T. Higgins. And they might not even be Brandon Ayuk. Okay? But they can fill a need for you. And DK Metcalf has the name, and he's got the ability, and he's got the highlight reel. But you've got a second-year quarterback who's going to be the face of the franchise. You've got an offensive coordinator who has worked well with young quarterbacks, first off. And second, is known for the attention to detail in his playbook a lot more than some other offensive gurus, right? And you really want to be bringing in a guy who is just gonna freelance out there, who's never been known as a tight route runner, and who more or less forced his way out of Seattle. Like, when you're talking about building culture and building around a young quarterback, is that the kind of guy you want in the Josh McDaniels offense? I get it. He's a tremendous player, and the Patriots have a huge need for tremendous players. And maybe I'm being a little bit too football wonky here. Maybe I'm putting on too much of the football wonky glasses. But I don't know if that was the best move for the Patriots anyway. I'm okay with not getting DK Metcalf. I just think there's a lot of extra there that you're not going to get with Chris Godwin or Amari Cooper or Cooper Kupp. Now, there's a lot more extra talent that you won't get because of that by going with those other options. But there's never been knocks against any of those three guys for performance on the field, discipline, and culture fits. Right? Two of them have won Super Bowls. One of them won a Super Bowl MVP. And there's been no knock against them for their route running and their ability to learn a playbook. And there has been with DK Metcalf. Again, heck of a player. If the Patriots went out and traded a second-round pick for him, am I sitting here saying, damn, they got DK Metcalf? Probably not. But when you look at the full body of work, I'd rather go with two of those three guys I mentioned. One of them, it might be damaged goods, and Chris Godwin, who knows? I'd rather go with two of those three than, and all it would cost you is money, than DK Metcalf and giving up some draft capital. Maybe that's just me. But I like the Harold Landry deal. It just sucks that you missed out on two other guys. Now what's next for the Patriots? As much as we all want one of those receivers, you have to shore up this line. And there are a couple of names that are out there that we're going to talk about throughout this week. But if you can't attract any above average talent on the offensive line, even just average talent at this point, how is that going to change how you handle the number 4 overall pick in the draft? That's going to be something interesting to look at. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. We are here live on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts. Coming up next, Celtics, Lakers, June again? Let's talk about that possibility on the Camp Show.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
Have you ever watched true crime television and wondered, how did they get that story?
I can show you. I was a producer for 48 Hours on CBS News.
In my exclusive tell-all book, I'll take you where no audience has ever gone before. Don't miss out. Secure your copy of Killer Story, The Truth Behind True Crime Television today. Available everywhere books are sold.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
We haven't been looking for you. Wake up.
Hellhound Country, available anywhere you get your podcasts. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Welcome back. Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network, live at high noon Eastern time every weekday here on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts. Cam Stewart, the host, Zach Burke, keeping us on the air as he does every weekday. We've talked Bruins. We've talked Patriots. The Celtics had a pretty big game over the weekend too. Beat the Lakers, 111-101. Saturday night, primetime, ABC building was jumping. The NBA is a better place when the Celtics and the Lakers are two of the better teams, Jason Tatum said after the game. And he's right. Well, other than the fact that he should say two of the best teams. That's proper grammar. But he's right. And we all know it. And some are still fatigued by it, even though it's been a long time since they've been they've shared the grand stage. It's been over 15 years since we've had a Celtics-Lakers final. Been 15 years. 2010 was the last one. And this looks like a real possibility for 2025. I mean, the Lakers, they won 8 in a row going into that game. They've been red hot since they got Luka and got rid of Anthony Davis. Wow, what a flea steal that was for the Mavs. And they were hot coming into this game. Now it stinks that LeBron isn't able to finish it. He's got a groin injury, old man LeBron. But this could have been an NBA Finals preview that we saw. And the on March 8th on Saturday Night Primetime ABC. It was a hell of a game. I mean, the Celtics went out to a huge lead. Lakers did not quit in it. They came back. They forced it to, a 2-possession game in the second half. And the Celtics do what they do, what good NBA teams do. You can't hold down a good team that long, and they come back and make shots at the end. And it was an awesome game, really high energy, both Tatum and Brown, both playing over 45 minutes. It was a fantastic preview for what could be an all-time NBA Finals. Could be an NBA Finals that would bring the NBA out of this little lull that they're in right now. Because all the talk this year have been, the NBA fatigue and how people don't like the way the game's being played. Charles Barkley doesn't like the way the game's being played. The ratings are way down. Hockey gets a huge lift with the Four Nations. And now maybe hockey's is it a better spot than basketball is, or at least the NHL? Is it a better spot than the NBA? The All-Star ratings are horrible. It's an absolute sham. There's all this load management. It's not a great thing for the NBA right now. But as I said at the time, when Pete and I talked about, the NHL hot, NBA not kind of debate, the NBA always finds a way to come back. They always find a way to bounce back. Jordan coming out of retirement, Steph Curry, changing the way the game is played, new villains, new heroes, new storylines, new gimmicks. The NBA always finds a way. That's why the NHL hasn't overtaken them and all these other opportunities that they've had. And why it's surpassed baseball, literally America's pastime, surpassed baseball years ago. And this would be the way for them to bounce back. Am I wrong? The ratings are going down, so what happens? Luka Doncic gets shopped around to one team. One of the top 3 best players in the entire league gets shopped around to one team, and that one team is the LA Lakers? Interesting. Oh, and now he's playing with the second best player of all time, LeBron James. Those two on the Lakers together. At the same time, the Celtics are this great team, but the fans don't like them because they're boring, because they don't smile like Magic Johnson does. Why don't we just orchestrate this trade? And who knows, chips fall as they may. Maybe we'll get a Celtics-Lakers final. Do any of us think that's not going to happen at this point? The Lakers have just as good a shot as anybody to get to the finals, right? The Celtics should get to the finals. They're both second in their respective conferences. And Oklahoma City is a damn good team and should still be the favorite. But would anybody be stunned if this Lakers team with a healthy LeBron takes them out? They'd have a tough time with Holmgren because they still don't have a post defender. But, since the Luka trade, they've actually had the best defensive rating in the league. And they haven't needed that big rim protector. And by the way, Luka took out the number 1 seed Thunder last year. So, no, it would not be crazy if the Lakers beat that really good young Thunder team in the conference finals and we get another Celtics-Lakers NBA finals. And that would be massive. I know there's a lot of the league and the fan bases that don't want that. They're like, all right, we've had Celtics-Lakers, right? We did it in the 60s. We did it in the 80s. We did it in the 2000s. We don't need it again. We don't need the league to revolve around that. But you look at it, man, especially the 80s and the 2000s, when that theater is there, the NBA gets a really huge bump, a really big bump. And I think there's still, I think it's the greatest rivalry in the NBA, but I think it's a bit of an overblown rivalry because it has to be in the NBA Finals. The Red Sox and the Yankees will always be the greatest rivalry in baseball, and they can't even play in their league's finals. They can't play in the World Series. The Celtics and the Lakers has to be that. It's still got some intrigue. It'll still bring the stars out for a game like this on Saturday. And it'll still bring a ton of energy in the building. But in order for it to be, big time appointment television rivalry, it can't be like Bills and Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. It's got to be in the finals. And that would be huge for this league. And I mean, the storylines, this would be like Russell Celtics versus, Jerry West and Wilt at 69, right? Luka and LeBron on the same team. But here's this mighty Celtics team that emphasizes TEAM team. The Lakers, Showtime, celebrities, LA, known the world over, Boston Celtics, still trying to hold on to their lead for all-time NBA championships, still very local, very Boston. That would make for incredible theater that the NBA could really use right now because they didn't get the ratings last year. They didn't get a great final series last year. They thought they were going to get the intrigue of the Kyrie going back to Boston, and it did very little. And the Celtics were so good that it didn't, capture the imagination of a lot of the basketball public. This would. This really would. Celtics Lakers 2025. Tatum and Brown versus Luka and LeBron. Kristaps Porzingis versus Rui Hachimura. The matchup we all want. I'm all in on this. I'm full conspiracy theory mode. I would do anything for a Celtics-Lakers finals in 2025. Bring it on. Let's do it, America. Even if it means the NBA has to surpass the NHL, which I like a little bit more. I'll take that risk if it means Celtics, Lakers, finals. Let's get the juice back into this thing. Zach Burke, if I may, for one moment before we get off the air here, as we rev this thing up and get Zach as a part of this, just to let you know he's still a part of the show. Zach, what do you think? Celtics finals 2025. Because you would be one of these, by the way, you would be one of these fans who you're a big NBA fan, big Rockets fan, and you might be like, fuck, dude, I don't need it anymore. I don't need the Celtics, the Lakers. And I would totally understand that.
I'm all here for it.
Because that could mean they would take out the Rockets along the way.
No, that's true. And that's going to be, I think, one of the problems anyway, is I don't know if that, being realistic, the Rockets aren't good enough to play for a title yet.
Not quite ready.
This is a team that still has some ways to go, but I think that obviously they're on the way there. And you know how you have that, maybe they'll win like a key playoff series this year and you're like, all right, one step closer. But that's not the year. Like, LA made the move. They have both LeBron and Luka. Like, I can't argue with that. That's going to be a tough hill for anybody to overcome.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me, and I don't hate it because there's so much story already built in. That's the thing, is like, you can add all the storylines from this year into it, and the Celtics going for a repeat, and just the lack of, I would say, respect they kind of got from the title last year to playing the Lakers again, who now have LeBron and Luka, and is it, LeBron? There's so many storylines, but all of it.
If there's one league that pulls off conspiracy theories, it's the NBA.
Oh, for sure.
This all fits. The Luka trade in and of itself, but also the fact that they didn't even shop him to another team. The Celtics are the defending champs. We've got this fucking 9-part documentary series blowing the Celtics and how great they are, and half of it's going to be about the Celtics and the Lakers. And it's probably LeBron's last year, right? And oh my God, what a send-off would it be if the Celtics fucking beat LeBron in the NBA Finals to end his career? I don't even know if the NBA would let that happen. But that all comes together. Like, this would make perfect sense.
That's it. What if it's another, dude?
Good luck, everybody else.
What if it's another Game 7, balloons in the rafters? Russell finds the post-game celebration. Yeah.
Last time the Celtics won back-to-back.
Yeah.
Was that day. So
I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
Fuck me. If only Bill Russell and Jerry West could see that. That would be incredible. That would be so incredible. Oh, you know what's funny is like that should be like a great scenario for me. But you know who is part of the Rogue Media Sports Network that would absolutely lose their shit over this more than any of us?
Pete?
Yes. Pete hates these two teams.
But yeah, no, it'd be Pete.
And he'd be like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the greatest thing ever to happen to basketball ever. So he would have me on every day.
Oh, for sure.
I would accept.
Yeah, you get to talk about the Celtics for like 9 days.
Yeah, which, I mean, the genesis, I mean, the early days of the Cam show was that. It was just
That's true.
talking about how great the Celtics were. I mean, they lost like 2 games.
That's it.
2 playoff games my whole time running the Cam show. So anyway, Zach, thank you. I value your opinion on this.
Oh, thank you. That means something.
And this will be like the 80s, man, because the Rockets are coming too. And the Celtics will just beat them in the finals a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
Just like the old days.
Just like the old days. Hey, as long as we get a couple in there somewhere, that's fun.
The Ime storyline would be good too. So there you go. Anyway, that's Zach Burke. He's kept us on the air. Thank you to Zach. Thank you to me for being here every weekday. And thank you to you guys for listening and watching. Again, live at high noon Eastern time. And then wherever you got your podcasts, get your podcasts. Talking Boston sports 5 days a week and a little bit extra. We'll see you tomorrow on The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Tusains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.